What's working? Looks like everything's working to me, I think. Let's check. Okay. Audio capture. Rode microphone. Okay, we're good. Alright. Just double checking, because stuff changes in the time. When you don't look at it, I swear. I'm covered in beard and doggo. So, we are gonna talk about PAX because I am back from my vacation. I will lie and say it was restful. It was definitely not restful, but it was a fantastic vacation nonetheless. We normally live in Oahu, over in Hawaii, so we flew over to Seattle. Spent a couple days in Seattle. And then Penny Arcade Expo West happened, so we attended the full length of that. And then we went down to Oregon and visited some family, which is pretty cool. Some folks we haven't seen in a really long time. So it's super cool. I will say Seattle has two of the best things in the world. It has the coolest Gunpla store I've ever been to, and it has the coolest leather store. Just really awesome. We'll talk about all those. So, as I think my plan was just kind of... Well, I guess let's do an overview of PAX first. And then from there, as I've got this stupid thing here, I made sure to bring one of these back specifically for going over on stream. So this is the layout. Now, it is 3 essentially expo halls and then a bunch of little rooms. A bunch of those have consoles you can rent out and play. There was a Steel Legion, I think it is. Steel Legion. There was a Steel Legion area where you could join a giant LAN game of Steel Legion, which was pretty cool. But these were the 3 big, expo hall areas. 2 of these were primarily for... Going to a Comic Con, right? Like a local Comic Con is usually a lot different from a place that has an actual expo hall. Because usually what you have is like a dealer's den. So the dealer's den is usually rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of vendors. Expo halls are a lot of companies, right? They're set up as hello. They're set up as advertising. Also, if you ever see me just say hello randomly, I'm saying hello to the chat because I saw someone show up. Not that I have some kind of greeting-based Tourette's. So they're a lot more advertising set up by a company. The fun of it is that a lot of these can be smaller companies and some can be bigger companies. So this here was the Summit Expo Hall. In this one, there was a very big booth set up by Larian, which was really neat. It had cosplayers. They're the people that make Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin and stuff like that. It had cosplayers, and they were giving out pins, and it had these big booths so you could try stuff, and it was neat. There was a crashed Nautilus ship there, and there's ones for Tekken and all kinds of stuff, right? And they're all set up and themed, and lots of times they have cosplayers and little things to do at the booth, and then if you interact with it in certain ways, you usually get some kind of swag. We'll take a look at some of the swag. Actually, I'll just pull the swag out now. Hold on. That's my Squashmallow that I bought because it was really cute. So he's really cute. So there you go. There's a Squashmallow booth. I don't normally like Squashmallows, but I really liked that one. Okay, so let's talk about the swag. Okay, so this is my lanyard I got at the Larian booth. I got it because it's really just nice, heavy duty. So lots of times the businesses will have some kind of little store where they'll sell stuff like this, or like t-shirts, or maybe game codes, stuff like that. But the other stuff you can get is things like these. So these are pins from different booths. That's one that I bought at the leather store. And usually you have to do something to get the pin, or to get like a lanyard, or you know, some kind of piece of swag. You usually have to like interact with the booth in some way. So to get this one here, which is a Warhammer one, I had to play the demo. They also gave me some other stuff. We'll talk about that when we talk about the demo. This one I had is the little MSI dragon. There is a ton of furry porn of that, and it's really funny, so I wanted that pin. That one you had to take a picture with their inflatable and post it on social media. So that's up on my Instagram now forever. And the Monster Hunter pen, you just had to like pre-download the game, I guess, like, or like pre-sign up for the game. It was weird. Yeah, so this is going to be a free-to-play game by Niantic. I guess where you hunt monsters IRL. It looked kind of neat, and it had a cool Monster Hunter pin, so, you know, I did it. But yeah, so like they had booths there, you do little things, and they usually give you something, so it was pretty cool. So there's two big halls of that kind of stuff, or at least there was, and that was really fun, right? And there's little vendors mixed in here and there, like the Squashmallow that I showed off. There's also a lot of smaller vendors that are like indie games. So there was like some game that was basically like Smash Brothers but with personas that had a booth. Devolver Digital, which is a little bit, which is like double A, not developer, publisher usually. They had a booth and were giving stuff out. And then there was one called like Giga Bash, which had like Godzilla DLC and all these other things. There's one called Extremely Powerful Capybaras, which is a Vampire Survivors clone. But was fun. It was like that mixed with a party game. It was pretty cool. But all these kind of like companies, right? Like, and you're essentially like partaking in their advertising, usually to try some kind of demo. I will say, out of all the games I played, I enjoyed Giga Bash the best. It was really fucking fun. It was really fun. I wish it had more Godzilla characters. It only has like 3 Godzilla characters or something, 3 or 4. I wish it had more Godzilla characters, because if it was just purely a Godzilla game, I'd buy it in a millisecond, because it was really fun. But yeah, so there's 2 big rooms of this. Really good time. Like, if you are a person that is like, no, I can't do that, that's cringe, you're not going to have a good time here. You have to be willing to do things like play demos, interact with the booth people. Like, you have to be willing to do that to really enjoy these areas. You know, like take pictures and stuff. Like, if you're not going to enjoy that, you're not going to enjoy the expo areas. Just flat out, right? If you're like, no, that's super cringe or whatever, like, and you're just like a fucking stick in the mud douchebag, you're not gonna have a good time. Just 100% you're not gonna have a good time. I had a lot of fun because I enjoy doing those things, right? So I really enjoyed the expo areas. I thought they were pretty cool. Now, the third expo area is a tabletop expo area. Now, when I say tabletop, I think Warhammer. When they say tabletop, they think D&D. So, this was almost entirely Magic and D&D. There was a big booth for Gloomhaven, which was cool. Gloomhaven's cool. I don't really play it, but it's cool. And lots of like custom dice sellers for your D&D dice and stuff like that. You know, because really in D&D you only need so many specific dice. So lots of people will sell you like a set of dice that are really, really, really fancy, but they're not like wargaming dice, right? It's not like a box of D6s. So really, for a person like me, like that doesn't have a lot of value. But you know, a lot of people got a kick out of it. That was cool. The two tabletop things that were here, there was a miniature seller that was doing CO cast miniatures that were very nice but oddly expensive. I do not remember the life of me what they were called, but they are very nice but oddly expensive. There was Tinker Turf, which is a cool product. It's like a pop-up terrain made out of like hard cardboard, kind of. If your game store didn't have terrain to use and you had to travel to a game store to play, Tinker Turf would be amazing. However, since I might mainly play by myself here on the channel, Tinker Turf is not very useful for me. And every game store here in Hawaii has terrain to use already. So Tinker Turf is not super interesting to me, but the booths seem very nice. People seem nice. It was cool. The last thing in this, which is the most important in my opinion, and the one I was the most excited to see. How do maps work? How does this work? No, that's wrong. Nope. How does this work? Oh no, wait. You can watch me be really stupid for a minute, apparently. I get my ass kicked by a fucking map. There we go. Okay. Now, the most important thing to me was that booth. Why? Because I fucking love Battletech. Battletech is my favorite game. And these are the people that have rebooted Battletech and have done all the Kickstarters, made all these nice, beautiful plastic miniatures. So they had a booth there, and it was very cool. I had to throw away a bunch of the boxes, which really sucks. But I got the Legendary Mech Warrior pack, which is really cool, because I have not seen that on for sale here in Hawaii. So that was really neat. So that was these guys. All big, fancy man mechs. And then I got this cool Hexless Battletech mat. So this is their regular mats, but printed without the hex. I think it's pretty neat. So one side is like the moon, and the other side is like grasslands. So that was pretty cool. So I wanted a mat. Because I have these other mats, I probably wouldn't have bought this. But I wanted a mat because I was doing a demo and teaching 2 friends how to play Battletech. 3, because I also was teaching my husband. And also this just gives me a mat to take to the game store that's Battletech size, which is nice. So I can now just take this with me and have a nice little game of Alpha Strike on it. Hold on, I have to apparently roll it up tighter than that. So yeah, so it'll give me just a nice little base for Alpha Strike now. So between this and the Alpha Strike like starter box, you can actually have a really nice, extremely portable setup table. So that's what I did at PAX. I ran this and the Alpha Strike starter box. Because the Alpha Strike starter box has spots for all the mechs to sit in, and it comes with cardboard buildings. And it is very nice. Very, very nice. And it worked as a really, really good, solid game. Right? Like, just as a nice, kind of portable game in a box, worked super good. Alright, now we gotta go into the magical bag. There's some more Warhammer in there, we'll get to that. There's a PAX patch. They gave me that for buying a t-shirt. Haha. Got the goods in here. I got the goods. Alright. Actually, I'm missing one thing. Where is that? I don't know. Oh, there she is. Okay. I was like, I'm missing something. Okay. They had these little salvage boxes for these fighters. I've never seen these for sale before. I think they're a bonus from one of the Kickstarters. So I picked one up. And they're an aerospace fighter. So these guys just kind of fly along and bomb shit. So yeah, really cool little fighter. And just something I hadn't seen before. So he comes with cards. Let's check those out. Tyra Meyerborg. She is the Golden Goose, apparently. The Shylone fighter. It's pretty cool. Yeah, some kind of plane. I thought it was cool, so I figured I would pick it up because it's another thing that I'd never seen. Like the Legendary Mech Warriors pack, I've never seen that for sale here in Hawaii either. So grab both of those, and then I have definitely never seen these for sale. So these are faction pins. So they're really cool enamel pins for every faction. They're really nice little backers that are rubber. And you can just go out and stick them and stuff. But they are super cool. Super cool. I think these were probably a backer from the last Kickstarter, from the not the Mercenaries, the Clans Invasion Kickstarter. But I honestly didn't get into Battletech until that Kickstarter was over, which is a real shame, unfortunately. But yeah, they're really cool. They had these still for sale. So I got Clan Coyote, Clan Mongoose, Clan Ghost Bear. This one's case is a little beat up because he's really big. The Clan Ghost Bear pin is like fucking giant. Clan Wolf. I'm really happy this is the newer Clan Wolf design, not the like super old one, because the super old one just looks really bad. And Clan Diamond Shark. So I'm probably going to go ahead and put these on like a board or something, just because they're really cool for all the different clans. Yeah, so really cool. So I got the ones pretty much for all the clans that I liked. I wish they had a Wolverine or a Sea Fox, but I didn't see either of those. So I got these ones instead. They did have like legitimately like 3 times the number of this in different pins. You could also get challenge coins, but I don't really want challenge coins. So they did have all kinds of different ones, like Clan Jade Falcon and all kinds of stuff. But I got the ones that I think are cool. So yeah, Catalyst Boost was cool. I talked to the guy running demos for a while. He showed me some Thunderhead Studios terrain, which was pretty dope. And yeah, and I got to teach some friends on Battletech on one of the days, which was cool. This is a lanyard. You got that if you played Tekken. The new Tekken game is neat, but very flashy. Very flashy. Extremely powerful capybaras. I mentioned that one. Well, apparently you can play the demo and add it to your wish list. There you go. If you want to do that, go to town. This was fun. I enjoyed this game. It's like a party game. This is a really fancy keyboard that I brought my husband. And then this guy was a fucking Chad because he gave me free shipping on it, which was really cool. Let's see. This is something from Vampire the Masquerade or something. I don't know. Alright. Oh, we'll talk about those a little bit. We'll get there. Same thing with that. Let's get away. Okay. This is the default lanyard for something called Fae Farm. They had a really neat booth set up. It's like Pokemon and Stardew Valley. The booth was really cool. It looked cooler than the game. I got a magic murder bag with a cool little orc symbol on it. This is one of the few other little bits of gaming stuff that I actually saw there. And then they put a dice on the inside, which is supposed to be a demo for how nice their dice are. But this dice is just feels really cheap and crappy. The dice feels really bad, which is a shame because the bag is really cool. That's who it's from. If you want a cool orc dice bag. So I wanted a new magic murder bag because I don't know what happened to mine. So in the move. So these were like $5 and I had $5 in cash. So okay, let's see. That's PAX. That's Oregon. That's deodorant. We'll use that in a little bit. Alright, let me see what else is in here that is PAX. Rogue Trader. That's Oregon. This game, Riftstorm, is super generic. It's a roguelike where you move from arena shooter to arena shooter, shoot a bunch of stuff, the next door opens. It's really generic. I think the theme they tried to make unique and just absolutely failed at it. Oh, this is the one for Gigabash. Gigabash was super cool. It's a 4-person, like, smash up a city, smash up other monsters fighting game. Very cool. I wish it had more Godzilla characters, because if it was purely a Godzilla game, it would be, like, phenomenal. Let's see. That's the keyboard I bought my husband. I don't think this code works anymore, but if it does, get yourself 15% off. My husband bought a Penny Arcade pin. When did we get this? Oh, this is from Child's Play. My husband really likes Child's Play, so that's the pin that he got from them from Child's Play. Child's Play's a charity where they take like consoles and stuff into kids' hospitals. Ugh. These were really crappy pins being given out by Devolver Digital. Something called Gumbrella. Let's see. Okay. Alright. I thought this was cute. And their game is like some dumb corgi adventure game. To be honest, it looked kind of crappy. But it was cute. And I felt like they were trying. So I bought a sticker from them for like $1. Okay, now we have to talk about something that's 40K related. This pin right here, the one that's the Flight Eagle, came from this. So they had a booth to try out the new Rogue Trader game, and if you tried it out, you got some cool stickers. So there's a big eviscerator there, plasma gun, some purity seals, flamethrower, bolter, some kind of weird sniper rifle, like a las sniper. It looks like looking at juggling from the barrel. You got these really cool stickers, and you got this really cool pin. I want to say I enjoyed the game, but that would be a lie if I said that. It's a CRPG featuring rogue traders as they go on some adventure. So by default, rogue traders are in the world of Warhammer 40k, they are a group that's kind of above the law. And tend to be a little bit of like a power fantasy, because they are usually people, but they have access to all this weird stuff and all these weird things, and like all the bullshit rules that exist in 40k don't apply to rogue traders generally, because they're like above the law. So they tend to be kind of power fantasy. This game really, the plot was kind of similar. So already I didn't really like the theme, right? Like, I'm not a big fan of rogue traders as like a concept. So I think I was probably already biased, but it's a CRPG with a shit ton of reading. So if you're expecting something like Baldur's Gate, where like it's really like smart and witty like interactions with the characters, and there's not like tons of exposition and like written dialogue, if you're expecting that, it's not that. It is a very old CRPG, where you talk to someone and it basically gives you a book, down to the point where you get inner dialogue, observations, like world descriptions and stuff in the text. So if you are into that, where it's kind of like more of like a novel style CRPG, you're gonna have a good time. I don't like that. If I want to read a book, I'm gonna read a book. I did read a book during the flight, by the way. Fox Patrol from Battletech is phenomenal. But if you are into that, cool, rock on. The combat's really klutzy, and basic. It's like the animations aren't very fancy, but I think the combat is not the focus. It's really the story that they're trying to tell. So if you like that, rock on. It was not for me. So I played the demo for a couple minutes and I was like, okay, can I have my pin now? And they gave me my pin and I left. Because it was not for me. Alright, but that was PAX. Other highlights included the queer sponsored cosplay show, which was very cool, so +1 for that. And just being in Seattle is awesome. It's probably my second favorite place besides Oahu. I really like Seattle. Big shout out to Doghouse Leather Store, fucking cool as shit. And big shout out to International Model Toys. So I met my friend who works at Apple, and we went out to dinner one night. He picked us up, took us over to Chinatown. Chinatown, there's a place called Awaja Maya. It's kind of like an international market, primarily focusing on Asian things, primarily like Japanese. It's not as crazy as like a Don Quixote, which you'll find out here in Hawaii, but it's a pretty cool place. I've been there before. But across the street from Awaja Maya is a place called International Model Toys. Holy shit, this store is cool. On the inside, there's like a giant mural of the F-91. There's just completed, beautiful Gunpla work everywhere. Like the entire middle of the store is like a case that's as long as the store of Gunpla work. Like different depictions of battles and like just really fancy painted up Gunpla. Fantastic stuff. The guy has got a ton of awards up on the wall. Well deserved. Really good work. The dude was cool as shit. He actually should have closed like before we got there, but he stayed open because he was bullshitting people. And then we got there and he stayed open even longer because he was bullshitting with us. So they sell all kinds of stuff, like photo etch parts. They sell upgraded pieces with like um, the springs and stuff for like Zaku's and metal nozzles. He had a huge selection of decals. I got these nippers. They're okay. Apparently they just came out. I think I need to be a little more careful when I'm using them. They're okay. I think I also might just be spoiled by God hands, so we'll see how that goes too. But they seem pretty good. They're not bad. If I had more room, I would have bought a ton of Gunpla, but I only, unfortunately, had room to really buy one because I bought so much other shit everywhere. But yeah, just super, super cool store. If you go to Seattle, I would highly recommend International Model Toys. If you check Instagram, there's photos of the store up there. Actually, can I pull those up? 'Cause it's. Let me see if I can pull those up. Chrome is up to date. That's nice. Let me see if I can pull these photos up, because this store is like. Okay, it's being dumb. Alright, I'm not going to be able to pull the photos up. But 10 out of 10, highly recommend International Model Toys and International Street, which is like the Chinatown. It's right by the Big Dragon that's on the pole in Seattle. Super cool place. Alright, and that was my trip to Seattle. We did some other stuff like visit Pike Place and stuff like that, but doesn't really relate to any wargaming stuff, so... yeah, so then we went off to visit family in Oregon. So we essentially had like a day and a half to spend hanging out with family, so we did that, hung out with them for a bunch. We had a little bit of downtime in between and not really anything to do in Oregon. Portland is kind of run down and dirty. It's kind of, but so we didn't really have anything we really wanted to do in Portland, you know. So we just kind of did a little bit of shopping here and there. I managed to find one of these bad boys, so we went to a Target. So this is the Target exclusive Battletech Essentials box. Did you get a $20 off gift card in this thing? This thing costs $24. So there's a bunch of stuff in here for rules for playing in like arenas and stuff, like what's on the box, and you get the 2 mechs that are on the front of the box, which is pretty cool. So this is a new sculpt of the Centurion where he's got the like little stabby gauntlet, and then a reposed. I believe this is an archer. So that's pretty cool. So you got both of those. And then I think I've already started using this box for cards. Let me see. Yeah, I have. You don't get all of this. A lot of these are... Why is there a Gunpla Bean Saber in there? Who knows? Lots of these are from other things. But you get a little story. You get some rules. You get Battletech gift card for $20 off the Battletech store, which is really cool. Should I have more cards to put in there? Hold on. Come on. Also, Battletech is sponsored by KY, which is really funny. Still just generally amusing. Oh. So yeah, so I grabbed one of those at a Target because we stopped at a Target to get some essentials. And then we stopped at 2 different stores. The first one was a Games Workshop official store where I picked up the Hands of the Archon. I haven't been to a Games Workshop official store probably in like 15 years. I think the last time I went was when there was one in Bel Air, Maryland. And I went with my dad when I was out helping him work. I think we stopped in. They had this big Space Marine that used to stand outside. It was one of the NTBO2 or whatever Marines. And that was really cool. I actually don't think I even went in the store. I think the store was closed because we were there too early. But we got to see the Marine, and that was really cool. So this is the Hands of the Archons. This is a standard box of Cabalite Warriors. So standard box of Cabalite Warriors. So this is the standard Cabalite Warrior sprue. It's a nice sprue. I actually like the Eldar models. They have a lot of customization and customizability and stuff, which is cool because they're older models. But they're new enough that the sprue is really packed. So there's tons of different weapons and heads and guns and all kinds of cool shit. There's a sniper rifle, a big heavy rifle, all kinds of things. And this is the upgrade sprue for it, which gives you a bunch of custom characters, including like a guy with a bird, a lady with like a big chainsword right there. There's a dude that has like basically just cleavers, and there's like a poisoner person throwing a grenade. Lots of cool additional options for stuff on this. There's even some extra different chests and things, so pretty cool. I like these little upgrade sprues because they give you a lot of unique characters, which works really good for things like Stargrave and one-page rules and stuff like that. So I picked this up because I thought that was pretty darn dope. I like the lady with the chains in her hair. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can basically use anything anywhere you want. Yeah, it definitely seems that way. So yeah, big fan of these upgrade sprues. Oh, I wish they would just start throwing them into the basic kit versus making it like a standalone kit like this. Because it's not like they give you the fucking rules for this faction in the box. That would be too nice. But yeah, I picked these up. I will say the GW store was not as well stocked as even our local stores here in Hawaii. They had basically no AOS stuff. They had no Necromunda, no Titanicus, basically no Warcry, basically no Underworlds. They had a fairly decent amount of Blood Bowl, of all weird things, and then just like pure 40k. It was even funny because the attendant she was talking about the things. So first off, fuck you Games Workshop for only making one person work in the store. It wasn't a very big store, but still, that's just really shitty. Like, it's really, like, the fucking person's gonna be bored out of their brain if nobody's there. Because I'm sure you don't let them read books or do anything like that. So, first off, fuck you Games Workshop for that. Second off, it was very weird because it was clear that like the store was there to sell 40k. Because like everything else was kind of like an afterthought, kind of just like dotted around. And they had no old boxes. So all of the old products were not there. They were gone. It was only new box stuff. So like you couldn't get like a start collecting box that they don't make anymore, right? They didn't have any of the like old boxes for like the end of the year stuff or anything like that. They didn't have any of those, which was kind of weird. you know, I was talking to the attendant, and she was like, "Yeah, 40K is, you know, it's simpler than ever, and all the rules are free." Both those are mouthpieces, but they're both actually technically incorrect. And then she's like, "Yeah, and AOS," and then she like paused, and she's like, "is becoming more popular." And I was like, "That's a selling point, isn't it?" So yeah, 0 out of 10. Would not recommend the Games Workshop official branded store. 0 out of 10. However, the next place I went was a place called Guardian Games, and they were a nice little store. I got my husband some Magic cards there, which was kind of cool. And they sold Tooth and Coats, which is pretty darn cool. I haven't seen these anywhere on Island yet. So this is Amethyst Rain, Boarhide, Elven Skin, and Dark Sun Yellow. But yeah, they seem pretty nice. So, excited to see how they work. I'm going to check those out. I picked up just a couple to try them out. I was like, okay, well this will make... this would make a good leather color, I guess. Sorry. Oh, thank you. And, I mean, you can't ever technically go wrong with a skin color, so yeah, picked up some to try them out. And then I got some Chessex dice. Since my Tyranids have essentially become like trans pride Tyranids, I kind of wanted dice to go with them. So I got some like... Since they've accidentally become High Fleet Blarge, I got some dice to actually go with them instead, which I thought was pretty cool. So I've been using like purple dice, the purple Tyranid dice for them, but I kind of wanted dice that actually match them. I thought that was kind of neat. So you got the light blue in there, you got the pink, you got the white, and you got the dark blue for the base. So I thought they were pretty perfect for my Tyranids. So yeah, Guardian Night Games was a nice store. Little bit weird how some of their systems worked, but it was okay. And they had lots of tables and stuff to play, which was cool. So if you were looking for a place to play in Portland, it would probably be a pretty cool store to go to. They sold pretty much all the standard stuff. Shatterpoint, Legion, 40K, AOS, a little bit of Battletech. The weirdest thing that I saw that they had was the World of Tanks game, which I know someone out here in Hawaii plays, but I've never actually seen it for sale before, so that was kind of weird. But yeah, that was everything. That was my whole trip, and all of my swag that I got. Big props to my Squishmallow because he's fucking cute as shit. Yeah. It was overall a very, very good trip. Very tiring, just because of the nature of having a 4-day long con and then spending a couple days with family and the long flights and everything. So I've been back for 2 days now, and man, I'm telling you, it's still not enough. I am still so tired. It's just 2 days we've been doing things like setting stuff up and all kinds of stuff. So just really tired still. But it was a fantastic trip. It was really good to go. We haven't taken a trip in years that was entirely just... I mean, yeah, technically this trip wasn't really entirely just for fun either. So we did spend the latter half of it visiting family, but the beginning was like actually just a pure trip just for us. That was really nice. So yeah, it was really nice. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to call it there. That's everything. Next week we will probably be back to playing the Doomed, because I've been I've been itching to get more of the Doomed in. Maybe we'll play some Battletech. I'm really enjoying Battletech, and I can talk about the Fox Patrol book then. So it's very good. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to call it there. So I am a little sniffly, and I'm losing my voice. You can probably notice it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to call it. Excuse me. But thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and keep on keeping on.